Prabhupada, in his last few days, called Giriraj Swami and asked him, how do you think this movement will go on after I've left this physical plane? And Giriraj Maharaj answered as practically all of us would have answered, by saying, as long as we follow the regular principles and we chant nice japa and we're careful of Vaishnava aparat, everything should go on nicely by your grace, Prabhupada. Prabhupada sat back and said, yes, but intelligence and organization. So he used intelligence and organization. And of course there is the joke, why did you join ISKCON? And the answer is, I didn't like organized religion, So we do, Prabhupada, this is one of my favorite purports. Prabhupada says, one wants to feel the unfettered freedom of the soul. So it's intrinsic that the soul is free. And therefore, when we start talking structure, people think limitation, they think that things become formulaic, that as Prabhupada's another one of those key measures of things, Prabhupada said what the devotional service should be independent, voluntary, and spontaneous. So, Raganuga Bhakti, so as soon as you have that spontaneous devotional service, that sometimes appears to be at cross currents with organization, formula, but we see that Prabhupada stressed these things. So the organizational development, one of the things is we went through the GBC resolutions, and people joke, I joke, we've passed so many resolutions, Prabhupada said, was it resolution, this and that, but no solution, So, but, just to see what's there, we went back and looked through the GBC resolutions. And we saw that, there's some good stuff in here, Hey, if we'd done that 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 20 years ago, we'd be in a good spot right now, or we would have avoided this problem, or we would have this positive result. So we realized that one of the problems is that we make a good resolution and we don't execute it, we don't carry it out, we don't monitor it, So the Organizational Development Committee, it's meant to see how to help ISKCON carry out its will, how to help the GBC, the devotees in general. Our mantra for the strategic planning is more devotees, happier devotees. And that's really what we're trying to do here, how to serve the Vaishnavas nicely. Simple example. You've been on a big parikram, you've worked with a lot of energy, now you're hungry, you want to take nice prasadam. And everybody sits around and there's no pandal and the prasadam's all over the place and, everything's too spicy and, who organized this, And if it's nicely organized, the devotees sit down, they take prasadam, everyone's talking. I think this is probably too loud, but I think we should shut it because I don't want to have to do this again. So just like, you've been out on a pandal chanting, dancing. Now you want to sit down, take some prasadam, rest a little bit. And if there's not an organized area, there's no pandal tent, there's the prasadams all splayed out, it's late, It's not nice. And if it's organized nicely, you sit down and there's nice prasadam and everyone's talking Krishna Katha. It's just a very sweet atmosphere. So we want to do the same thing. We want to help organize Krishna, the ISKCON movement nicely as a service to the devotees. So they can do that, they have the facility and the arena and atmosphere to do their service nicely. The devotees are wonderful. If you actually look at the caliber of people that join, we're off the track, it's kind of fun. My mother and father, after initially tearing up Bhagavad Gita and flushing prasadam down the toilet, my father punching me, the Village Temple president, in the nose, them trying to sue the LA Temple, I'm getting a letter from my father's lawyer, I'm out of this trust, I'm out of this will, I can't step foot on any of the properties, and my father wrote with his own hand at the bottom, he said, if I could take away the family name, I would. That's how angry they were. They were so fried, And over 25 years of so many events, it's a wonderful story. They became very sweet, and they actually really liked the devotees. But I'm indebted to my mother and father, and they were perceptive. So my father bought a big walk-in freezer for the temple one time, and so he was having fun, and he was there watching the devotees install it, and mixing it up with the devotees. And I asked him afterwards. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "You really got the variety pack. All the different types of devotees, And another time, my mother was supposed to meet my daughter. They were, I don't know, they were going to do something, school shopping for clothes for her, whatever it was, And they got their wires crossed. So my mom was sitting in the patio for about an hour and a half. I was in my office. I didn't know. And the devotees knew my mom. Somebody recognized her, came and got me. And I said, "Mom, what have you been doing?" After we all got out of the house, she went back and became a school teacher. And she taught in Watts, which is one of the most high-crime criminal areas in America. And then she taught remedial reading in the barrio. I mean, she was, far out later. So she knew people. So she'd been sitting in the patio for an hour and a half. I said, "What have you been doing?" She said, "Oh, people watching." I said, "Well, what do you think?" She says, "If you ever want to write a book, you got the characters." And it's true. I remember Prabhupada coming to Detroit and sitting down on his Vyasa-san, and he sat down, he's got his glasses, he's getting ready to chant, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And he looked out over at the audience, and he kind of chuckled to himself. And, and the audience was inner city street kids and college students and Indian families and hippies and just the whole montage of humankind, the whole spectrum, right? So Prabhupada looks out and he chuckles, says to himself, and you can hear it on the tape, he says to himself, he said, "Krishna's lotus feet, big enough for everyone." So if you consider, Krishna's lotus feet are big enough for everyone. So you take a look at that variety of devotees. Sometimes it's like trying to herd cats. It's not easy to get everybody, and they're independent, they're Brahminical, everybody's got a different, you ask them if the sky is blue, well, there's one cloud, and what's the shade of blue, and how long will it be blue, and you get a whole conversation. So, but we just want to serve the devotees. And the other thing is the world is crying for Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada said that you can tolerate anything. We're living in these sannyasis and saintly persons can tolerate anything except for the crying of the living entities. And they're being crushed by the material nature. We were just up on the hill with Balaji, He can't, it's too painful for him to see the suffering of the living entities. So, Krishna consciousness works. It is the salvation of the world. Prabhupada did say that someday they'll put a marking stone in the town that on this date the Sankirtan party came to our town. Prabhupada said they'll see us like the Red Cross. And we don't have time, but I have so many examples of devotees' lives, people's lives who've been saved by Krishna consciousness. So it is and the alternative, what is it? All it takes for evil to succeed is good men to do nothing. So if we don't spread the Sankirtan movement, Prabhupada said you shut off the light. You don't have to call for darkness. It's immediately there. And the most dastardly, hellish, torturous darkness. So the Krishna consciousness movement is so important that to not organize it, to not rack our brains how to distribute it in the most efficient way, we're derelict in our duty. We may want to be at play in the hands of God. I saw Srila Prabhupada you've got these bogus Bhagavatam readers. I saw this also in Delhi, Ram Leela grounds. The guy was, crying, Radha, Krishna, this and that. I was with the Chutananda, and Chutananda said, watch. When the guy came off the stage, he was in the wings, blew his nose, 2 little chilies came out. Slices of chilies. And what he'd done at the appropriate time, like a magician, just pushed him up his nose. And immediately tears began to pour out of his eyes. It was a total fake. He'll always cry. I was in LA, 1970. Srila Prabhupada was reading. Actually, it wasn't reading. It was before he started. Prabhupada, it was in where the old temple was, where the museum is now. Prabhupada came in, and usually he would offer obeisances, take Charnamrita, sit on his Vyasa-san. And he was trying to teach us
Ishopanishad. So he would immediately, that oceanic voice of Srila Prabhupada, you would hear it come rolling out of the Vyasa-san. He'd come sit on the Vyasa-san, we'd all offer obeisances. And even before you come up, you hear, Om Pranamada Pranamidam, and Prabhupada, and it's just sweet. This particular morning, it didn't happen in time, no sound. We looked up, and Prabhupada was sitting completely straight, looking at the deities, and tears were pouring. His cheeks were wet; they were pouring down his eyes as he was just laser-like looking at the deities, And then I saw Srila Prabhupada take a deep breath, and he suppressed it. He pushed it, or he didn't advertise it, he didn't promote it, he didn't wallow in it, he suppressed it. It was a disturbance in his service to his Guru Maharaj. His duty to his Guru Maharaj was to deliver these foolish people. Somehow to deliver them. And this ecstasy was just getting in the way. So if Prabhupada was so serious about delivering the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then as his followers, shouldn't we be in the same mood? So that is some of the impetus for OrgDev, the organizational development, is to give structure and systems to facilitate the service of the devotees. If you go, Prabhupada said, up on the hill in Balaji, Prabhupada said that we should learn from them how they organize. Prabhupada said everything they're doing is excellent. If you go up there, they have trash cans. It's the only place in India I've seen trash can and regular, where they take it away. And lo and behold, people use them. And the place is, and there's someone sweeping, and the place is spotless. I mean, Prabhupada told them that everything you're doing is excellent. They act to their credit. They sat with Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, you didn't have to guess VIP book, you write a comment. Prabhupada wrote, very spiritual. He appreciated it. And he praised them.